Shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to the only true God of heaven and earth, whose true name is Yahweh, and to his only begotten Son, the Messiah, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. And double honors to my elders and teachers in Great Millstone, and honors to all the prophets and teachers that carry the spirit of faith and truth within them. My name is Zachariah. Hear my speech concerning the truth, that is the word of the living God. This guy, Elon Musk, is indirectly telling their agenda. He have recently came out and said this on his official Twitter page. Universal high income via checks issued by the federal government is the best way to deal with unemployment caused by AI. AI/robotics will produce goods and services far in excess of the increase in the money supply, so there will not be inflation. So Esau is indirectly speaking about their instrument, their plan of evil that's ultimately going to lead to implantable technology being received by mankind as a way of being involved with that beast system, as an instrument to buy and sell of, transaction and basically, implantable or it's like a digital payment, to get involved or have access to that digital payment service. And this is prophetic. So these different societal problems such as unemployment and robotics, AI, is ultimately being used by the elites that they may garner control and compliance of the people. Basically using these different things to make it hard on people, to make it difficult, so that they could come in and ultimately implement their beast system. And they ain't gonna say it directly, but this is their plan. In fact, let's go to the book of Psalm chapter 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. Yeah, their beast system, their wicked agenda, to basically have people subject or imprisoned in a digital open air prison by way of digital currency, digital ID, AI, and that implantable technology. That's going to basically strip people from freedom and the control and the rights of their life. Privacy. This is what they're conspiring to do. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Yeah, bringing about these different societal, problems, shall I say, economic problems. Robots, AI taking people's jobs. The job market at an all-time low. Unemployment, it's very great. Energy crisis. Hyperinflation. Bringing about these different things, ultimately intentionally. that they may ultimately introduce this system that have been prophesied long ago. A digital system that will soon involve the mark. That is implantable technology, serving as an instrument of programmable money, of digital payment, of transaction, of buying and selling, and also you can speculate as a carrier of digital ID. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Yeah, so they're planning evil, in other words. They're devising evil. Yeah, and when it says they accomplish a diligent search, yeah, you think about their agenda. It's been years and years thought out, or it's been well thought of, or thought out, shall I say. Years and years of energy and planning and thinking, is behind it. This implantable technology, the microchip, which is the mark, which ultimately, again, is going to be serve as an instrument of buying and selling of programmable money, of digital payment. And I'm sure as an instrument of UBI, this is technology that they purposefully, made for that same purpose. And right now it's not really, on the scene yet. Some, places in the world, this is technology that's, it's more common, but soon they're going to fully introduce it. You had different whistleblowers, came out throughout the years, warning of this signaling, their plans, of cashless society, and this type of technology, this type of system. But they're using these different problems, these societal and economic problems and difficulties to bring about compliance, to make people comply and more or less resistant to their agenda. This is both the inward thought, that is their plans, their devices of every one of them, and the heart is deep yet profound. In other words, it's complex. So these, the so-called robots taking jobs, unemployment, the low, job market, energy crisis, it's all, instruments for the same purpose ultimately. And there's far more to come. Crash, a cyber pandemic. They got a lot of things up their hands ultimately to bring about their NWO. So, this shows you that, what Elon Musk is speaking about on his official account, Twitter account, universal high income. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's how they could get you or get the people to get involved or to participate in that beast system. A free money. Which is ultimately going to lead to the chip, implantable technology. It's the only way to buy and sell. It's the only way to sustain yourself in this world. You know, the only means, you know, free cash, already on there, as soon as you get it, you know. And right now it's not involving that technology, but soon it may very well. So, this is a warning. I'm going to close off in that, Lord willing, this lesson's edifying. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Shalom.